Hey guys, my name is Janet, aka J Aesthetics. If you guys are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you drop a like and a comment if you like this video. By the way, this is going to be my first vlog, my first episode of my prep vlog, so sit down. So with this video, I'm going to give you guys an introduction of my bodybuilding career, how I got here, where I currently am in my prep, and some of the struggles that I've been dealing with getting here. Alright, so if you guys did not know, this is my 4th year competing as a bikini competitor. I started competing in the year 2018. I was competing back to back for those 3 years. 2018, 19, 20, and then I took a year and change break. And then now I'm back again preparing for my 4th year competing as a bikini competitor. Okay, so just to give you guys a breakdown of why I started competing in the first place. So in my first vlog on this channel, my very first vlog, if you guys want to go back for reference, I actually talk in very big detail of why I got into bodybuilding in the first place. But just to like briefly sum that up, I had this experience with myself and other people that they would fail to follow through with their promises. And I remember that I told myself I would never want to be that kind of person. And so that's when I kind of like put my grown ass pants on, and I was like, if I say that I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So when I first entered in my competition the first year, that was, I experienced so many different things that probably could have put a stop to my prep, but I was like, absolutely not. I told myself that I was going to do this. I'm going to see it through. And that was actually the first time that I saw that I can like believe in myself and I can trust in myself. So I pushed that. I milked it. All right. I milked it. I did 3 shows that year. And then the next year, that was my 2nd year of competing, and that was, I remember that year I competed 2 times. I went on stage twice, and I was actually just about to give up in that first show. I think I was kind of like a sore loser. And the one thing that I've learned from this experience in general is that like walking away with a trophy, that's like a privilege to have. All right, that's a privilege to get. That doesn't necessarily mean that I deserve it, right? And that's something that I actually had to learn over the process of the years. But I remember I got on stage that first time, and I was prepping for a long time. So like for them to not even like look in my direction, I was just like, you know, my ego was hurt, which was like the best thing that happened to me, because after that, when I tell you that I kicked up the gear, I was like, absolutely not. You see, the next time that I step on this stage, they're gonna know who the fuck I am. So then that's exactly what happened. 1 month later, right before I was going to quit, I'm telling you, I was going to quit. And I said, I'm not doing this anymore. This is stupid. I'm always talking myself out of things, by the way. And then I stepped on stage, and that was the first year that I won first place. And I was just like, that's crazy. So many lessons that I learned when I prep, which is really why I love to compete, you know. I'm not sure why other people do it, but one of the reasons why I do it is because the lessons that I learn while I'm prepping, because that makes, when you prep for a competition, you have to learn or apply extreme discipline. And it's not like it's like a total mindfuck the whole time, right? Like you're here working your ass off to get to a certain like look, but you don't even know for a fact if you're like actually ready or not. Like you kind of have an idea, but the whole thing is so subjective that you really don't know, right? And you're like putting all of your like everything, your strength, your courage, you're hungry, you're like doing all these things, which is why, you know, there's a lot of people that do like fasting, and when they do fasting, they don't actually do it for like to like lose weight. They do it more for like to build a mental endurance. And this is the reason why I fucking bodybuild, is to build that mental endurance that I need. And what I do is that I take that same thing and I apply it to different areas of my life that I need more discipline in. I apply that shit. All right. And I learned that there's this one girl that I met on YouTube. We actually became peoples. I'm going to drop her link here because I think some of you guys could benefit from listening to her. She's an intuitive tarot reader. She's the best. Seriously, Kayla. This was years ago. I've been literally following her for maybe about 5 years or so. And one of the things that I learned from her, she said specifically, if you're having an issue in one area in your life, think about where you're successful and apply that same formula to that area of your life, and you're going to see a success there. And like, it kind of started clicking, you know, I started becoming like really good at this prepping thing in bodybuilding. And every single time that I do it, it's almost like if I'm like brushing up my skills, right? So if I have an issue like career-wise, like needing discipline in that, I learn it from here and I start applying it. That's exactly why I learned boundaries. One of the biggest things that I learned from bodybuilding was boundaries, because I had that issue. It's one of my biggest like traumas as a child, was not developing the skill to create boundaries with people. And because I learned that a lot with discipline and boundaries, to say no, right? Because a lot of people, when it comes to food, is resisting that temptation, right? You say no, I can't do that, I can't go here, I can't, you know. And you're gonna have people around you like, oh no, that's fine, let's just have like a drink. And you're like, no, because I said no. And those same things, like, you learn that, telling you, it works. I mean, it works for me at least. Anyway, so that's the reason why I actually love bodybuilding, is because of the mental fortitude that I keep proving to myself that I have. Everything else, like aesthetically, it's not that I don't care for it, because I do. I love the changes that my body goes through. I love seeing it like firsthand, you know. I'm like, holy shit, like, I built that, I did this, you know. But it's still more like the mental aspect that I'm completely in love with. There's not a lot of people that can handle bodybuilding, and there's like a lot of people that shouldn't do it even at all, because it's not a sustainable way to live like your life, right? I'm not always prepping. I'm mostly not. There goes Daisy, of course. But as far as what I do, like for my diet, right? Like, there's a lot of people that don't understand the difference between bodybuilding, competitive bodybuilding, and just fitness in general, because they stack it all together. And there's a fine line that shouldn't be crossed, right? They should not be crossed. Like, I understand we all eat, we train, we do cardio, but the way we do it with the goals that we have them for are completely different, right? Most people, when they're training and stuff, they have a specific goal and they want to kind of look like that forever. Us bodybuilders, when we are stepping on stage, the goal is not to have that look forever. It's not sustainable, especially for us women, that we get very low body fat. We're not supposed to stay there, all right? See, like these abs, I can kind of have like fine abs all year long. I can be lean, and I've learned how to actually create a life for myself with that look. But to be completely shredded, like stage ready, absolutely not. Too much sacrifice. I ain't with the shit. So throughout this whole like journey, throughout this whole prep, I will be having a lot more episodes, because I will be prepping for a few times this year. I have goals. So my specific goals right now is to qualify for a national show, which I lost that qualification, and I'll tell you guys why. So when it comes to the NPC, which is the federation that I'll be competing in, once you qualify to go nationals, right, you have a local show. If you place top 2 or like first place, that's when you qualify for a national show. Once you qualify for a national show, you can then qualify to become a professional athlete. That's when you get the pro card, your pro title. So that qualification lasts like about a year. You have to keep on competing in order for you to keep that qualification. Now I spent a year off of training. Not training, I'm sorry. I'm always training. I train for life, boo. I actually spent a year off from my off season, and I took that year off for a multitude of reasons, which I'll tell you guys now. It's a story. I always got a story. Anyway, so the reason why I took the year off really in particular was because the last time I competed, which was in 2020, that's when I was on a national stage. I didn't place, but I was first call outs. To me, that meant everything. That means that I was very close. When you are first call out, right, that means that you're the first group of people that attract their eye. So I was like part of that, you know, and like I was like, shit, I'm here. I did this, you know. And although I didn't place, I walked away with this like sense of accomplishment, that I was able to stand there on stage with other professionals. You know, I get imposter syndrome, guys. I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel like, what did I do to deserve to be here? I did fucking everything. I have to keep reminding myself, I fucking deserve to be here. You know? Shit. Anyway, so after that year, I just knew that after I competed that time, I just knew that I needed improvements. I needed to grow some more muscle in certain places. So I spent the year in a surplus. That means that I was consuming more calories. I wanted to rebuild my metabolism. You know, we're cutting for a long time. Your metabolism kind of like takes a little bit of a hit. I'm still in a healthy body. I never do anything out of the ordinary extreme. I don't. So I'd like to keep my body healthy. And when it comes to keeping my body healthy, that means that I'm not in a deficit of calories for way too long. That's just detrimental to your metabolism. I'm telling you guys this so that you guys can understand to stop fucking dieting all the damn time. All right. In that year, there was a lot of things that happened. I made a video back of why I stopped vlogging my last prep. I got a lot of weird attention that I particularly didn't like. Now, it's gonna get personal here, so brace yourselves for this one. I don't mind attention. I know that it's very, like, I'm on social media. You're gonna get it. Like, I put myself there. I put myself out there, right? But the thing is that I don't really mind the negative commentary. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't mind the negative commentary. I developed very early as a girl. I developed, you know, breasts really early, and ever since then I've been like an object of creepy men's creepy desires. Disgusting. And I mean, like, early, and I was like 10, I already had boobs. And I don't know, ever since then I kind of, let's just say there's been a lot of incidences, plenty, that caused me a lot of trauma growing up. That's to keep it in short. I'll get into that another time, but you know, not right now. That's not the point of this video. When I got into bodybuilding and I started to develop muscle, that kind of negative feedback that I would get from men and say, oh, you look like a man or whatever, that actually like fueled my fire. I was like, oh yes, they don't like this, I'm gonna keep doing it more. And it's not even that I did it because of that in particular, but it kind of like fueled my fire. Like I felt like, oh, they don't like that, so yeah, I'd rather look like a man so that you could just like stop, you know. But the thing is that it just didn't stop. It got worse over time, and especially the last competition, I'm telling you, that I got, and I made a video. Go back, all right? When I say the video that's called I'm Back, I speak in very much detail about the messages that I was getting, and that brought up a lot of wounds that were not healed, and I had to kind of like relive them, kind of, I could say. I just know that I had to go back to therapy, and I spent like the better part of the year back in like just therapy, working through a lot of shit because of like weirdo creep things, which I get like incredibly triggered still to this day, but I just learned how to manage it a little bit better than before, I guess. So yeah, anyway. So that was my year last year. I took the year off. I was going through like a lot of stuff, like also like emotionally shedding a lot of old habits, or trying to, it was a very big emotional experience. And I was like, you know, I didn't compete, and I felt myself kind of like being sad about not doing so, and I kind of was a little upset at the fact that I was sad about it, because I'm like, I don't want that to be like my identity. I don't want to be that. I don't want. But then like I had to like sit with myself, and I'm like, this is what I like to do. This is my hobby. All right. I'm a coach. I'm a fitness coach. I help women. Have helped hundreds of women become the better versions of themselves in a sustainable way, in a healthy way. But I'm also a fucking competitor, and I love it, you know. And it took me a long time to like be okay with that, which is weird, you know. But you know, other childhood trauma shit. You know, we're always dealing with some shit. Anyway, so now I'm back, and I've been prepping for like the better, like maybe about 5 months already. And that was the background. Here we are now. I am probably like a month away from my first competition of the year, and this first competition is so that I can qualify for a national show. And then if I get the privilege to qualify for a national show, you best believe that I'm gonna be hitting that motherfucking national stage. Okay? I've been having some issues actually, not really necessarily with like my health, that I'm like in a bad place, but the thing is that here's the deal. So a few months ago, I actually fell into a bit of a depression, which I was very, very much in denial. I thought that I don't know, I was just like in a funk for a really long time. I'm like, oh, you know, it's the winter time, I get the winter blues. The winter blues are over. Then I'm like, oh, you know what the hell's going on here? And so as I was speaking to my coach, she's like, get a blood work for me. I need you to get your blood work so that we can know like what's going on in your body, if you're in a healthy place or whatever the case is. I've never had issues losing weight. I've never had any kind of problems, okay, with my metabolism. I've always kept myself very healthy, all of that. And it turned out that my testosterone levels were incredibly low, like abnormally low, which was causing me to have the worst sleep ever, disrupted sleep, depression, all that shit. I literally, when I got my blood work back, I cried like hysterically, because I was like, that's an answer to my problems. I didn't understand why I was so sad. I would just have worse days and I would have better days, and still I was like doing that and trying to run a business for myself. I'm an entrepreneur full time. It's hard, you know, to constantly like show up for yourself when you're doing everything yourself, you know. And social media is part of it. It's part of my job, and I had to just keep on doing it with a fucking smile on my face, like nothing, you know. And that actually, low testosterone, and I want you ladies, because I know most of you ladies are listening to this, that actually makes your weight loss process a lot harder. So this is actually the first time in my entire life that my progress has been extremely slow, like snail. I am losing, obviously. I'm like in a really good place right now. I probably would have been a little bit more leaner at this point, a little bit more shredded, if I didn't have this issue. So it's kind of taking me a little bit longer. So I'm still trying to see if I can make it to the first show. But there's so many other shows after that I'm not worried about it, and I know what's going to happen. I just don't know if it's going to happen on that day. So those are the issues that I'm currently experiencing at the moment, and I'm just trying to like do things, you know, take my time and understand that it's going to take me a little bit longer, which fucking sucks, you know. And just to go a little bit like more deeper, when I saw that I had low testosterone, abnormally low, the first thing I thought was, am I like perimenopausal or something like that? I'm 37 years old, and you know, like I don't have any children, and you guys know that. I know that a lot of people ask, I know, so do you have any kids? Are you gonna have any kids? That's a different question that I will not answer right now, but I will eventually. But that was like the first time that I was like, is the clock really ticking? Because I don't hear that shit. I'm like, oh no, like I'm fine, I'm healthy, I'm still young. And that was the first time that I was like, holy shit, is that a decision that I have to make right now? And I kind of freaked out. That was the first time. I've never, ever, ever, not for one, had a societal pressure of you're supposed to have like children or whatever the case is. That's not it. That's not my problem with it at all. It's just time. And I had just had other things like in mind that I just want to accomplish, you know. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. That's my stance on it. It gets a lot deeper than that, which I'll discuss at another time. Like other things, but it's not the time for it anyway. So apparently I'm fine. I'm still like very much healthy. So we're trying to see if I can get my testosterone levels to a little bit at least normal. But I'm doing well. I'm doing so much better. I don't feel depressed anymore, thank God. That was horrible, you know. If you guys know, I have a long history with depression that I suffered years ago that nearly took me out. So I know very much the feeling of feeling like shit, all right? I know very much that, to have that kind of like mental health issues, because I still very much suffer from anxiety. That's one of my things that I forever have to live with. That alongside ADHD. I don't know if I've ever told you guys, but I have that. Yeah, I'm very much all fucked up in the head, but not really. Like, I'm fine. Anyway, so that's where I am now, and that was my overview of everything. This is like the introduction to all the other things. So you guys are gonna see other things in other videos. Here I'm talking mostly to you guys. We're gonna go over my check-ins, how they look, me weighing myself, or like me talking to my coach, the color of my fucking suit that you guys helped me pick up. I'm so excited about that. So yeah, I'll be back next week. I've already accumulated all the footage, all right? So you guys are gonna see a lot of in-depth of what my day-to-day looks like as a competitor. All right, so yeah guys, thank you guys for sitting here and listening to me babble. I'll be here next week. Yeah, so if you like this video, drop a like, subscribe to my channel, drop a comment, guys. Comments go such a long way. They are YouTube's way to know that you guys are interested in my stuff, you know, and that's how my things get pushed around. All right, so thank you guys for listening, and I see you guys next time.